All right, so here's what GraFfix response is to me. Typical Globie. Nah, I'm good. Space travel will be commonplace in 20 years and this discussion will be null and void. Right. So that's your response, GraFfix. I'm presenting something to you and your response is the potential of space travel and how you're assuming it will be commonplace in 20 years. That's your logic, good sir? Very fucking sad. Very fucking sad. It's too bad for you, man. I'm sorry that's your mindset. It's kind of insane. Generally insane. GraFfix, I can't have this conversation with you over the chat, dude. It's not gonna work. Like that's not I don't know. Maybe the chatters can talk to you, good sir. But the fact that you can come here each morning with that insane level of cog dis, like a lively conversation would be welcome, GraFfix. But for you, like to just say, well, because space travel assumedly will be commonplace in 20 years, this is mood art. Do you know they've been saying that for like fucking 100 years, dude? You understand that, right? That they've been saying that space travel was right around the corner 100 years and still not here. You get that, right? Can you just please talk to this guy in the chat? I don't blame you, GraFfix. Like, how could you? GraFfix, it's easy to be you. Do you understand? It's easy for you to just go along with the common narrative. So you can come here and just use consensus and appeals to authority to try to say I'm basically a fucking deluded moron. He said, your logic is restricted to field of view. Really fucking sad. Degenerate levels. I don't know if that makes me degenerate, dude. But field of view? So you're basically trying to minimize my whole outlook on this topic to the one presentation that I did today. That's what you're doing. So you're trying to show the one thing I showed today and say that it encompasses the totality of my understanding on the subject. Interesting. And people are weird. But like I said, it's not going to work here on chat. Well, by Saturn says he's an idiot, Z. People love to be fucked mentally. Well, an idiot or not, I mean, you said that, but you know, people wake up. What happens, ruled by Saturn, is people wake up on the wrong side of the bed. So they do the easy thing. Yeah, he's backstage smiling because he knows I'm right. They wake up like pissed off at their life. So what they do is, instead of just like listening, trying to have rational discourse and discussion, they throw slings and arrows from the chat to try to basically exercise some of the demons they're carrying around with them. Because it's easy to do when you have literally the whole world supporting your understanding. Fucking weird, man. Heidi says they love their balls. Mind the Gap says maps work, models do not. Yep. I see GraFfix. Hold on. Take it easy. Toilet Bowler says, I got some slings. I don't know about arrows. Oh, and then he leaves because I don't bring him up in 2 seconds. Okay, much love, dude. I'm not sure we would have been in for a very engaging conversation anyway. He fucking ran away. Rule by Seven says, yeah, possibly, but he's shown his stupidity more than once in chat. I don't know if it's stupidity. Listen, here's the thing, Rule by Saturn. You know, idiot, stupidity, you know, that's not maybe the approach we want to take. I'm just saying that it's definitely not. Look how you tried to start it. Well, GraFfix, why did you run away? As I'm about to bring you up, you fucking run away, dude. So what? You don't have the balls to come look my audience in the face? You fucking run away, dude? Come on, I came up. I'm still here. Where'd you go, dude? Where'd you go, dude? You're the one who ran away, not me. This is a talk show. You realize that, right? He said, you started talking shit immediately. Oh, I started talking shit. You called me a degenerate because of my understandings regarding the cosmology. He said, don't even let me up. As I was about to bring you up. See, this is the disingenuous nature of people like you, GraFfix, because I'm actively, and everybody can see, putting the link in the chat. As soon as you popped up backstage, I acknowledged you. I said, you're backstage, hold on, I'm going to bat you up. But you're so emotionally triggered that you're now just going to lie to a bunch of people who are witnessing the truth because you're triggered. Because the information that I present and that you choose to consume each morning is challenging your identity. Oh, let me let him up real quick before, God forbid, he leaves. All right, I hit the button as fast as I could there, GraFfix.
Right, yeah, you didn't have to do a bunch of comments about laughing and smiling and all that. Cool.
That's right, cool. I didn't have to do, like, I'm going to let you produce my show for, like,
Good on you. Good on you, buddy.
What's your issue, man? What's your triggered issue, dude?
Not triggered. Got no issue. I just think this discussion is dumb.
Okay. Please enlighten us. Why do you think it's dumb? I've been
here for days looking for you to give some sort of usable explanation because I thought that you might actually have it. Usually you just deflect and, you know, but today you did. And it's
I deflected. Hold on.
Not impressive.
So each morning when I take at least a half hour out of my show to present things like this that you apparently are watching over and over again, you're telling me that I'm not bringing any information and that I'm deflecting. You're literally contradicting yourself in the very same sentence.
You say something that says, yeah, this is actually, here you go. Here's video evidence. Here is my proof. This is the first time I've seen you do it. Now, I don't catch all your shows, so maybe I missed something. I don't know. But this was it, you know. Then you show the shot of this guy with a restricted field of view through this capsule, then a complete shot. It's from a completely different perspective, completely different lens, probably a completely different camera, completely different field of view, completely different focal point. All of these things you don't discuss.
Dude, you see how triggered you are, man. Let me ask you something.
Man, she deflects to triggering.
I'm not deflecting. I'm trying to have a conversation.
Being triggered instead of answering.
You didn't ask me a question.
How do you explain circumpolar stars?
You didn't ask me a question.
How do you explain circumpolar stars?
How do you explain circumpolar stars in your globe?
I asked you. So you asked. I asked you a question. You asked me back.
No, because I'm not claiming a model. I'm saying your model's bullshit.
That doesn't get you out of anything, dude.
How do circumpolar stars prove or disprove anything? All right, let me put it like this. Whether the Earth is moving or the sky is moving, wouldn't we see the same presentation of these circumpolar stars?
No, because there wouldn't be. Why there wouldn't even? How would a circumpolar exist without poles?
Because circumpolar is a name, not a phenomena.
No,
a human gave. Man, your logic is completely absent.
What are you talking about? Circumpolar.
I'm just gonna let you go.
Polar is in the word, dude.
Well, you have to know you're embarrassing yourself, dude. This is why nobody defends the globe, GraFfix.
Okay.
This is why nobody defends the globe in academia, because it's indefensible.
Sure.
You're actually looking foolish this morning, but I'm going to let you continue.
Now, keep telling me how I'm looking foolish without actually answering anything.
Okay. You didn't ask me. You asked me about circumpolar stars. Can you frame a question in a way that I can answer it?
Why can I see different constellations in the southern hemisphere than I can in the northern? That's what a circumpolar star is. What is that? What is that?
I mean, that's a different question. You just went from circumpolar stars to the southern hemisphere. So which question would you like me to answer?
You know what circumpolar stars are?
Yes, they're the stars. They're the stars that we observe that are moving around the North Star, which is called Polaris. I know. One of them is the constellation of Ursa Major, and others. They are the circumpolar stars.
Why do they differ in the southern hemisphere versus the northern?
Okay, you're asking me why you can't, because you can't see those circumpolar stars in the southern hemisphere. You and I both know that.
Right, but it's flat, right? Why
is there even a southern hemisphere? How's this? Why are you assuming that you could just see things forever? When you get sufficiently far from an object as I've been showing you with perspective, you can no longer see it. Maybe I'm saying maybe you don't see the northern stars from the southern hemisphere because they're too far away. Did you ever think of that?
Yeah, they're too far away. So if I put a glass lens that is concave inside of a tube in front of my eye, which is also just another lens with receptors behind it, now modifying my eye so that it can see further. But I still can't see those stars. I can't see the sun that's
because as I've shown,
flat Earth all the time.
I've shown, who says you can just see forever? Do you know we have something called atmosphere? I'm sure you like that word because it has a sphere on the end of it, right?
Of course.
What is composed in the atmosphere? What composes atmosphere?
It's like what? Mostly nitrogen.
Okay. It has what? Gases. It has air particles, right? It has particles of matter. Yep. It also has things like dust. It has things like moisture. You're just going to talk over me? You're just going to talk over me? You're just going to talk over me?
Yes.
Right, you are. So you're just assuming that you could just see forever through atmosphere when I'm telling you
and you're assuming you can't.
No, I'm not assuming anything. I just know you can't see forever because demonstrably you can't.
Right.
I'm going to put it like this. Can you see through a window pane?
You've already done this analogy, and that works.
I'm asking you a question, but maybe not everybody heard it. Can you see through a window pane?
Sure. Now you stack a bunch together.
Right, glass has particles. Can you see through 100 window panes stacked up? No, you can't. It's opaque.
Can you see through 100 photographic
It's
quality
analogy,
lenses?
good sir. You can't see forever because you're looking through particles of air.
100 photographical lenses.
If you're just going to talk over me, we can't have this conversation.
I'm trying to wait
you understand?
For you to stop, but you won't.
GraFfix, you are obviously triggered. You're evidencing what I show each morning. You're all over the place. You're jacked up. You're gyrating.
Right.
Your voice. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the emotions. I'm going to ask you some emotions. I want you to try to.
No, we're not going through your bullshit. Z, answer some fucking questions, dude.
Oh, so you want me to do what you do? So you want me to bring you down an illogical road?
Can I see through them? What is the difference between photographic lens material and glass?
You guys see this guy? Hold on, dude. You are really emotionally triggered, man.
Because what you're saying is just so stupid.
What I'm saying is challenging. It's unfathomable because you look through this world through a particular paradigm that you don't understand has been conditioned for you. That's why you're triggered. They used GraFfix. They used your emotions, and that's why your emotions are triggered by the subject.
Everybody else is not. We get it. What else, though? Like, what actual proof do you have?
What proof do you have of the globe? That's the point. Are you going to make me shelf you because you won't let me talk?
I don't care what you do, honestly.
Because you're not involved in the conversation. You're reacting emotionally.
Not worthy of being involved. You asked me to come up here.
You're tantruming, GraFfix. You're a grown man who's tantruming.
Sure.
Everybody can see it.
I don't care.
Everybody could see it. I don't fault you for it.
So what? Do you want to dwell on that now, or do you want to move past?
No, because it's quite obvious, dude. It's important to say that. So you want
to dwell on it?
Dude, you're assuming you could just see forever. You can't just see forever, dude.
No, I'm assuming
who told you you can see forever? Whether it's a star, whether it's the sun going away, whether it's a building.
How far can you see, buddy?
You're the type of guy. Well, it depends on the atmospheric conditions. Do you know the horizon changes depending on atmosphere? Do you know that?
Oh no. Enlighten me.
I'm talking about things that if you stand, okay, with a lens and a camera or a telescope or whatever, and you look across the ocean, okay, if you leave it there over time, you will see that the horizon changes. It goes up and down. Because that is not a physical horizon. The fact that it changes shows that it is an apparent horizon based on a number of factors, not only your perspective, but also the conditions of the atmosphere. The horizon is not, nobody who defends the globe is even now will still stick to your point and try to claim a geographic horizon. Nobody will do it because it's indefensible. It's provably not. So the point is you can't see forever because the angular resolution of optics brings it to a point where you just can't see forever. Things converge to a focal point. Hold on. As that think of that as visual information. As that visual information converges to a focal point, it becomes obscured and diffuse. You just can't see forever because of how optics work in this 3D reality. Study non-Euclidean geometry when you want to look at optics.
Okay.
There is a convergence and divergence into a focal point. It's plain and simple.
Exactly.
You can't see forever because in this reality, you can't see forever. So when you say to me, when people say to me, Z, how come I can't stand at the Atlantic Ocean and look over and see the Eiffel Tower? It's not because of Earth curvature. It's because you can only see so far. It's plain and simple. So when you ask me why you can't see the northern stars and the circumpolar stars from the so-called southern hemisphere, it's because you could only see so far. Plain and simple, dude.
Oh, so when I take my telescope and I put it in my backyard, or let's say I go out to the dunes on the edge of Lake Michigan and I look at Wisconsin through my telescope, can't see that with my naked eye, but on the right day, with it being clear, with my scope, I can.
Right. So it increases it because you're
something. Can I say something? Can I have
go ahead, say it. You're just increasing the angular resolution. You still can't see infinitely.
What I've done
you're increasing the angular resolution.
You talked about focal point. You talked about all this stuff. What I've done with that lens is I've increased that distance because I've just added a separate lens on top of my already existing lens in my eye.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what is your point?
You've
increased the distance.
That distance. The better
you still can't see forever because you're looking through an atmosphere, man. That's just the way it is,
I can definitely see far enough to see what would be required. What is it supposed to be? 3,000 miles, 6,000 miles for the sun on the FLIRF model, which, by the way,
so you're presenting a model that I didn't say. Did I just give you a model? No, you just presupposed the model that you think I hold. Do you understand
how you flat earthers are so all over the place? I don't know what the number is. What is the number? Does
anybody want to? I think that Mr. David Weiss might be here right now. Rose probably called him in. Do you want him to explain to you what I'm explaining to you? Look, Rose is laughing. Do you want Mr. David Weiss to explain to you what I'm trying to explain to you?
Why do you need somebody else here to explain something for you?
I don't.
I mean, what are you're seeing through an
atmosphere. I don't. I do it to you every morning. GraFfix. I present these things to you each and every morning. You come here. You're particularly triggered today. If you review the interaction you and I just had, you're probably not going to feel very good about it, sir.
I don't
care. You're just
really
emotionally.
Like,
it's not your fault.
I don't care.
They indoctrinated you through your emotions. This is your response here is exactly how you were programmed to respond.
Right.
Because my information challenges the very foundation of your identity.
It's so important to everybody, like the 100 people on the planet that are concerned about NASA.
You're not interested in where you live and the fact that you're being lied to on such a massive level that it's beyond comprehension.
The lies that are really being told are governmental, and you know the things that are being controlled with are way beyond as stupid as trying to make us think we live on a globe versus a flat plane, which has zero effect on anything really that happens on this planet.
Well, let me ask you,
the average intelligence level of a person here doesn't even give a shit.
I'm gonna let you just spiral.
Right.
And just keep evidencing the emotional. Not that you're a bad person, but you're evidencing exactly why they've done this.
Right. Okay.
Because you're doing the easy thing. You're coming up here and you're using a litany of logical fallacies, including an appeal to authority, an appeal to consensus, a begging the question fallacy, presuppositions galore. You're using ad homs. You're demonstrating.
Sounds like you're just using a bunch of big words to say that you don't know how to fucking explain this shit properly. There's no working flat Earth model. There's no agreement.
You're just going to keep
amongst the community.
Links in the chat for anybody who wants to join.
Flat Earth guys like some crazy gyroscope, and he ended up proving that it was curved.
The links in the chat for anybody who wants to join as this man spirals.
See, no response now. No response.
How am I supposed to respond to your scattergunning, insane questions?
One response. Dude. What about the guy that just proved the curve of the other flat Earth guy? That they just, I don't even know the guy's name because it's not worth it. But what about the guy that just proved curvature with some kind of expensive ass gyroscope that they donated or some shit?
How am I supposed to answer the insane, nonsensical question you just asked? Can you try again, please? Please ask a question that I could respond to. Links in the chat to join the panel.
A gyroscope. And now see, then you talk over when I mean, you won't even let me ask a question.
Go ahead. Floor's yours. You're talking about the gyroscope. Are you talking about a laser gyroscope?
You know what the fucking question is, dude. Quit playing games.
I don't know the question. Are you talking about a laser gyroscope, or are you talking about the traditional gimbal gyroscope? Do you really want to get into gyroscopes and how they prove a level horizontal Earth? Do you really want to get into that?
Yeah, I want to get into how the flat Earth guy that's like one of the main guys in the flat Earth community.
Oh, really? Like this? Oh, really? Like this guy who I'm just going to bring up?
Hey, what's your name, guy on the stream? What's your name? I want to explain something to you.
Just give the explanation. You don't need my name.
All right, can you see my screen?
Hold on, Dave. Let me increase it, Dave.
Let me get in front of my computer so I can see it.
Okay. So you're while you're doing that, you're all over the place. You keep moving the target of what you're talking about. So the one thing you were talking about is why can't we see Polaris? And the answer is because it's too far away. Now, it's not terrestrial vision and celestial vision are two different things. So a star, any light in the sky, sun, moon, and stars, they're celestial objects. They are above the atmosphere. We could all agree on that. Okay. And we all agree that things go into the distance. I'm just trying to pull up my OBS here. Things go into the distance and they become eye level. So here we have a perspective grid. Here's a guy looking down, and that line is his eye line, and that's where he sees the horizon. I throw a mountain in front of him. Now, you and I can agree that that mountain is thousands of feet above his head in theory. If it was real, it's just an illustration, but this is how life works, and you can do it. Go out and stand in front of a house, and that house is above your eye line, right? So
yes.
So here's the sun, and the sun is just going away. It's not going down. Now, right there, as the sun went past that mountain, is the sun below the horizon, or is it just beyond the mountain?
I mean, it would be beyond the mountain.
Thank you. Right. And you could prove this by one going up. If you had a magic balloon to lift you up, you could see it. Or let's pretend there's 100 miles of farms behind you, and you walk backwards. And if you walk backwards, that mountain is going to get smaller and smaller, and it's going to fill the whole foreground. And now it's going to look like that. And now you can see the sun because you have a better perspective angle on it. Okay. So that horizon, that underneath the sun, the top of that mountain is thousands of feet above that viewer's eye line. So now we're going to move the sun farther away. And what does it do again? Does it go below a horizon, or does it go beyond the mountain? Now it gets worse. I'm not even going to let you, just let me finish. So now we add the clouds in there. The clouds are directly above his head, and the clouds in the distance are all merging into that horizon. So as we move the sun away, which is above the atmospheric deck, right? Whether there's clouds or not, the atmosphere becomes opaque over distance. It goes not only beyond the mountain, which is thousands of feet above his eyes, it goes beyond that cloud horizon, which is thousands of feet above the mountain. So now I ask you, did that sun go below a ball Earth, or did it just go beyond the mountain and cloud horizon?
I mean, I guess it would be that this is the entire argument, right?
This is just showing you how this is not a theory. This is not flat Earth or globe Earth. This is how we see. This is how perspective works. So I just showed you that the sun went beyond a double horizon. If those mountains weren't there, the atmospheric deck would be there. It goes beyond that atmospheric deck. If you go in an Olympic-sized swimming pool that's perfectly pristine, clear water, and you look from one end to the other, you can't see the wall on the other side because it becomes opaque over distance. The atmosphere is the same thing. Okay. So we can't see too far. We can't see farther. Now going to your other thing, Globers that have been at this forever, full time, trolling us forever, they can't come up with a globe proof, but flat earthers can. So you want to bring up a Netflix hit documentary, Behind the Curve, where we've gone over it a million times. You just don't want to see the answer, where they edit it and make it look like we proved the globe when in fact we did not. The ring laser gyro measured about a 15 degree per hour rotation of something. And Bob made a comment to the producer who took that comment and put it in a movie. But he left out the other comment that were like, what is it that's moving? Is it the earth? Is it the sun? And so they did another experiment where they went up at the same latitude to Pikes Peak, I believe it was, and they measured again, and there was a significant difference. Now, if you understand the experiment and how the ring laser gyro works, that undisputably proves that it is the sky that is moving and not the earth. Okay, you can look deeper into that later, and then you can retract your belief that this is a proof. And then and you'll probably also comment on the laser experiment in that video where Jaron had 3 pieces of plywood with a hole leveled, and they were leveled to a canal. And when they were going to use a laser, but the laser condenser that makes the laser not spread out melted, so they couldn't even use laser. So they tried it with a light, and they held the light, and the guy says, "I can't see it." And then Jaron says, "Hold the light higher," and the guy reaches his arm up. Now, how long is your arm? Is it 3 feet or is it 27 feet? Because when he held it up, the guy said, "Oh, I can see it." And that's where they ended the movie. Well, if the earth was a globe, he'd have to hold his arm up 27 feet, I believe, for them to see it. But he was able to see it at just 2 or 3 feet, right? Then he brought the camera, this is all off the film. He brought the light back down, and they could see it again. So in reality, you could walk away from that going, that proves there's no curvature, but everyone walked away and said there were so many variables that proved nothing. But you want to run with, they proved the globe. And then your last thing is, why does it matter? Why the frig does it matter? What if this world is so much more than they're allowing you to see, allowing you to have? Free energy, more land, probably, your position in the universe, in this realm, the true power that you have, right? For you not to be able to see that, they have you exactly where they want you. You are lost in the sauce, and you don't realize what's important. I did the same thing. I was you. I laughed at flat earthers. I mocked them. I said boats over the horizon, seasons, sunsets. And then I looked, and then I was able to change my mind based on new information, right? And then I threw my hands up, and I said, before that, I threw my hands up. I said, well, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? I still have to go to work on Monday. And then you find out it makes all the difference in the world. This is where they want you, thinking that it doesn't make a difference, that it doesn't matter where you are, who you are, what you are. Doesn't matter the power that we truly have. They want the government to be over you. You're over the government, okay? It's God, man, government. Government is trying to put itself above God, let alone it's already above the people in most people's minds. Not my mind, not other flat earthers' minds. And you said, I think you made a disparaging comment, like the other 600 people or whatever. There are multi-millions of us growing every day, right? You are going to be in the minority very soon. Thanks for letting me talk, by the way. You're very polite.
Okay. Yeah. So just a question for you. Stars from both of our celestial poles, along with the seasonal constellations we have, they all create a spherical map of the stars when you plot their positioning and the way that they travel.
Right.
How does that work in a flat Earth model?
Yeah. So looking at the lights in the sky when they're provably not what they tell us. The the stars that you're talking about are supposedly gigantic balls of gas in a space vacuum, scientifically impossible, at distances that make absolutely no sense as far as the inverse square law of light and everything else goes. So you're looking up at things that we don't even know what they are, where they are, how far they are, and you want to say the movement of those dictate the shape of the floor. So you know that they say in our galaxy there's 100 billion stars, and that most of them, I think they say 80% of them are binary. Do you know what that means?
Singular.
No. Binary means that they
on or
two
off.
stars. Yeah, two stars orbit around each other. Two stars are in a binary orbit, kind of making like a figure eight in their orbit. Right. So we have a galaxy that has arms that are spinning at millions and millions of miles per hour, and then all of the stars in those galaxies, most of them are in binary orbit. So they're making this crazy figure eight pattern. But never in history has anyone ever observed two stars crossing each other's pattern. Right? Like, hey, that star over there is now on the left side of that star. It used to be on the right side. Never once has there been any parallax in any stars. Okay, you'll hear stories. Oh, the stars used to be different. The pyramid used to point at Thuban, and now it points at Polaris. And we just happened to live at the time where the pyramid shaft points at Polaris. You know, we had the Georgia Guidestones that was pointing at Polaris, that thin little hole, and it was up for over 40 years. That means that Polaris, according to the heliocentric model, its only excuse for why things don't move is because it's so far away. That the precession would have moved a half a degree. A half a degree, I believe, is like 1.5 moon widths, right? It would have been long out of that hole. And as soon as we reached that point where we were bringing it up on all these podcasts, pointing out how it's proving that we're not moving, somebody blew up the Georgia Guidestones. And within hours, they had bulldozers there to knock the whole thing down. Okay. You can keep living in your little globe paradigm and refusing to look at real evidence. That's your choice. You can have that. I would never live there.
So the star trails that do create a spherical map, they're just fake. We just don't know what they are.
If you look, I have on my app, which I'm sure you don't have, in the star rotation section in the frequently asked questions, there's a whole bunch of videos explaining a whole bunch of different ways. But one of the things that the Globers use is called an azimuthal grid of vision. This is how they navigate using the stars. They put a dome, a vision dome over you, and then the way we perceive the lights in the sky on this dome, they actually work perfectly. You have crepuscular and anti-crepuscular rays. Not something that I can explain to you right here, but there's a whole bunch of videos there that will explain it to you. But even if it explains it to you, I don't know why you're looking at the lights in the sky to prove the shape of the Earth. There is no curvature. Water lays flat, level when at rest. Large bodies of water are at rest. There is no curvature. There's no measurable curvature. No curvature, no ball.
So you can't create a sphere out of water.
No, you can. Well, the NASA with their CGI, but a drop of water, anything bigger than a gallon of water at rest lays flat. Period. Okay. Now you want to say a raindrop? That is the surface tension. Can surface tension hold an ocean? I don't think so. I mean, you can claim it does,
no, it would obviously be gravity at that point. But you can create here on this planet. You can create a levitating ball of water.
Which gravity? Yeah, but that's a tiny little drop of water. Give me a gallon.
No, this is not a drop. I mean, you can create a large, but it would all just depend on what mechanism you had to put behind.
Well, I have, show it to me. I mean, show me. You know, why is there no curvature? Why is there no curvature?
I have a video of it somewhere.
Why is there no curvature?
No curvature to what?
No curvature to the Earth. Okay, so here we go. Here, let me just show you. This is an 8-mile canal, and it was frozen, so you can't claim refraction. We have the camera just inches above the ice. We're looking across at these lights. These are lasers. The one on the left is 8 miles away, then 7, 6, and 5. Right? These are the distances to the laser. We're just inches off the ice. The curvature should be 30 feet, 22 feet, 15 feet, and 9 feet. And I rounded down. Okay, I rounded down because I was like, you know what? The lights are a foot off and everything. And I used the curve calculator and I rounded down. 30 feet, 22 feet, 15 feet, and 9 feet. Why are they all at the exact same plane when viewed with a camera?
There's just so many variables. How do you know that the level of that ice is perfect?
Yeah,
Secondly, what you're seeing here in this camera image
yeah,
is various levels of distortion depending on distance. So there is an obvious effect of the distance there.
So on a flat Earth, there is a
But as far, I mean, and it's so distorted that you wouldn't even be able to discern a drop.
so hang on. On a flat Earth, the horizon is a apparent position. On a globe Earth, the horizon is a physical position. The horizon should be, for that camera, for seeing the surface of the ice, and the ice is flat. Okay, seeing the surface, and if it's curved, that's even worse. Is less than a mile away. At that height, the curvature of the Earth should block the surface of the ice. But we're seeing stuff that at these great distances where there's 30 feet. It should be hidden behind a physical object of a physical Earth. Okay. Now you could say variable, you can say refraction, you could say the ice isn't level. Okay. That's you making up excuses to defend your position. Okay. It's okay to change your mind based on new information.
Yeah. What calculation are you using for that 30 feet drop over 8 miles?
I'm using the Pythagorean theorem. I'm using the out of the 3 calculations, I'm using the one that gives the globe the benefit of the doubt. Okay, it's the one that has the least amount of curvature, with all the ones that they say are accurate. I'm using the globe Earth curve calculator, where you're using viewer height, object height, and distance.
So 8 inches per square mile.
8 inches per mile squared. Now that is accurate up to like 2,000 miles.
So at 8 miles, we should be what, 64 inches down?
No, 8 times 8 is 64 times 8. 8 inches per mile squared. So at 8 miles, so 8 times 8 equals 64 times 8 inches equals 512 divided by 12 equals 42 feet.
I'm
42
not
feet.
sure. I'm just not sure.
You're not sure about a lot of
where
things.
The squaring is coming from.
So do you know what the Pythagorean theorem is? Do you know what the Pythagorean theorem is?
No, I guess not.
So it's the most simple form of geometry. A squared plus B squared, if you have a right angle, equals C squared, the hypotenuse. Okay, and if you take the diameter of the Earth, 39, 59, or whatever they say it is today, and you use the Pythagorean theorem, you can figure out the drop completely accurately. And 8 inches per mile squared, it follows the Pythagorean theorem, but it's even a little bit less. It's like I forget the number. It's like just over 8 inches, but we round it down. We always give the globe the benefit of the doubt. Okay, so here's something that a request I have for you. Take this information, look at it, verify it, and then when it shows you I'm right, maybe change your position on where you live.
Actually, I don't think I need to go any further, because men getting their own way, just same constellations in winter as summer. End of story. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on a second. Same constellations in winter and summer proves the globe?
No, I don't know. I guess that's proving flat Earth. I don't know. So
well, hold on a second, everybody. Let me jump in. GraFfix. Yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm going to leave you up here, man, because it's obvious, dude, that right now you are so in a state of consciousness where you're not really going to be listening to anything. You're not going to contribute anything.
I just tried to ask about the math. 8 inches per mile. There's no squaring there. I just don't know where the squaring is.
Listen, GraFfix. He's telling you. Hold on, dude. He's showing you. He's presenting you what academia gives as the Earth curve calculator. It's not the flat Earth calculations. If you live on a globe that is purportedly 24,901 miles in circumference at the equator, you know what the diameter is. You know what the radius is. You can easily figure it out. The trigonometric calculation, which is derived from simple geometry, and as Dave said, the Pythagorean theorem, you can use 8 inches per mile squared, okay? That's what it is. He said it was at 8 miles. So you square that, that's 64. You times that by basically, 0.66, Okay. And that gives you what it should be. He gave you the right calculation. You're trying to fight him on a calculation that's not his.
I asked him about it. I didn't try to fight him. I asked
All
him
right.
what the number.
I'm done with you, GraFfix. You're done. I'm going to talk to Dave now. All right. If you want to hang out in the back and you want to bring you up, I'm not going to sit here and just watch you be emotionally triggered.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just not going to do that.
You know, for a baller, he was actually not so bad. I wasn't here from the beginning. I'm sure you're frustrated, but he at least he listened. Okay, at least he listened. He's not willing to accept anything that's going to change his paradigm. But
no. Well, Dave, let's get into